Cool. So basically we use LiDAR to detect shrubs, but first I have to tell you why you should care about shrubs. First of all, cute animals. Shrubs are really important as a source of food and habitat for a lot of animals, especially in Yosemite. And then second of all, shrubs are really important for fire. Where there's shrubs, fire is going to spread or catch on fire. And where there's not shrubs, it's really important to know that there isn't that understory component that's going to spread fires. So predicting where shrubs are is really useful. And then also, they're really important for the carbon and nutrient balance of forests. So when shrubs die, just like any other organic matter, they drop down their parts and add to the soil nutrient balance. So in Yosemite, there is the forest dynamics plot where they've mapped out every tree, every shrub, every downwoody debris, everything that you could possibly imagine. Jim Lutz is the PI on this project, and they've created a really great data set, which gave the opportunity for us to predict where shrubs are using remote sensing. Remote sensing is really great because we can predict where things are at a landscape level. So in this case, we decided to use LiDAR, which is on the next slide. So LiDAR stands for light detecting and ranging. Essentially, a laser is pulsed out of a device on a plane. It hits a target. In this case, it's going to be a tree or a shrub or whatever's down below the plane. And then it returns back with the distance between the plane and the object and the intensity of that return. And here's a little map to help you visualize what LiDAR data looks like. This is the output that I see in Fusion. It's colored by height. You can see trees. And over here, maybe you can see some shrubs. So let's take a closer look. In open areas, it's really easy to see shrubs. We can see that, computers can see that, so modeling that is really easy when there's no trees in the way. But when there are trees in the way, it gets a little bit more complicated. So, can you see the shrubs here? No, it's a lot harder, yeah. And the computer has the same issue. It's really hard to distinguish between what's a shrub, what's a low-lying branch, what's a rock, what's a downwoody debris. And so, that's something to keep in mind. So, here comes my research question. I like to think of it as Schrodinger's shrub because I'm a nerd. Can LiDAR and topography be used to predict where shrubs are and aren't within Yosemite? So I used a method called machine learning. It's essentially where I train a computer to identify things that I've told it based on information within the data. So I give it the field measurements and the topography data and the LiDAR, and it basically says, when I see this in the LiDAR, that means that there is a shrub there, or there's not a shrub there. This is part of Random Forest. It's a package within R, which is a statistical learning, or statistical programming language, if some of you are familiar. And so here's the output. Essentially, what you see here is the blue are the places where the model correctly predicted that a shrub was absent. The black is where the model did not predict that there was a shrub there, but there actually was. And the red is where it overpredicted, so it said that a shrub was there, but it actually wasn't. And the green is the correct predictions. So with topography, it did really great. It just kind of overpredicted a little bit, kind of added a little buffer there. But when you get to LiDAR, it's all over the place with the over-predicting where shrubs are. And it seems really random. It's really hard to tell why the LiDAR is predicting that way, and that's something that I'm investigating right now. What we predict it might be is maybe where there's shrubs or where there's coarse-weedy debris or something that we can't necessarily distinguish from shrubs. So some of the other reasons that we think the LiDAR isn't working well is that there's tons of trees in the way. Darn those trees. And so we can see here in the little map, and let's blow it up here for you, is where there's pink and white, or is where there's between 80 and 100% canopy cover. So the LiDAR, that laser just isn't getting through the canopy, so it really just can't see those shrubs down below. And then where there's green is where there's open areas, so that's where it's going to be a lot easier for there to be predictions. And then topography, it worked really well. You could see that it was just kind of slightly over-predicting in the areas that the shrubs already were. But we already know that topography is a really great predictor for where shrubs are because it kind of controls the water balance and everything in the forest system. And that's it.